level.
At this point, we will allow our candidates to ask a question of each other. We'll start with you, Mr. Tamayo, if you have a question for Ms. Ordaz Perez.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I really think that these spaces are important so that we can create healthy debate about the issues and what matters. And so I know that for the last 5 years, you have voted for at least 7 times for tax increases on everyday El Pasoans. You voted for certificates of obligation without voter approval. So how can the voters trust that you're going to go to Austin, to a state capital, to fight to lower their taxes when you haven't done it at the local level?
And I do also, I'm glad you asked that, because I also do want to address, you know, you take credit a lot for working on the fire referendum, and I don't know if you know this, but that's added about $30 to the tax bill every year.
That was due. That was long overdue.
Absolutely.
Because you guys didn't want to sit down.
If we can allow her to respond, please.
Which is fine, but the issue, you have to be honest that that was a tax increase.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, we were very honest in that campaign.
Okay, good. So it added $30 in additional taxpayers at $30 a year. And so that's something that you need to be honest about, because you say a lot about, you know, investing in public education.
Which would not have been the case.
Excuse me, if we can get to answering the question that Mr. Tamayo asked of you, please.
Right. So,
and let her respond, please, Mr. Tamayo.
So investing in public education, and investing in roads, infrastructure, investing in healthcare, those do come with costs, just like police and fire. I've taken those votes. I have supported police and fire, and I'm honest about it, that those do come with tax increases. So I don't speak at the both sides of my mouth. I don't say that, you know, I'm against raising property taxes, but I do support raising, you know, salaries here and there that do have an impact on our homeowners. I have supported public safety, critical street infrastructure, roads, and I also voted for a $45,000 reduction for senior citizens like my parents. My parents live here and live on a fixed income. So those are the types of issues that we need to be honest about when we're looking at our budgets, especially local budgets and the state budget. We have to be honest that we can't say we want to increase all of these funds and then the next minute say, but no raising on taxes.
At this point, Mr. Tamayo, I will give you 30 seconds to respond.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay. So it would not have been a tax increase had the city of El Paso put that priority first before a baseball park that we could not have afforded. So to me, yes, we do need to fund services, critical services, not just rebates for the very wealthy people in our community and corporate donors and corporate, you know, business owners that before our first responders. So. And
it shows your misunderstanding, because the ballpark was a very small fraction. It's public safety, streets,
we can disagree
and quality
on that,
of life.
At this point, Ms. Ordaz Perez, if you have a question for Mr. Tamayo.
I do. So I've written them down. So you've raised the issue of campaign contributions, but haven't addressed the need to limit how state representatives spend campaign funds or reforms. So Senator Rodriguez, who you've referred to as your mentor, spends $1,000 of campaign funds per month leasing a Lexus, more than most people mortgages, definitely more than my mortgage. Another representative who has supported you has attained a job with one of the donors, the very same donors you've criticized. My question is, do you approve of these types of campaign expenditures, and do you think elected officials should be working with their donors?
So first of all, to address the first part of your question, which is campaign contributions, yes, I would support a cap, and that is why I have not taken money from big developers. My biggest donation has been $2,500, and so it does not by any means compare to the amounts of contributions that you have received.
I'm talking about expenditures.
And yeah, and then you talked about expenditures. That's something that it's out of my control, and every elected officials, just like you, have the discretion to spend campaign contributions as you please.
Do you approve of these types of expenditures like Lexuses?
No, I mean, but that's a personal decision. The senator has worked his entire life for something, and you know, if that's an expenditure that he chooses to make, that is on him. But I think that the campaign contributions is something that has to be addressed, and we should not be taking $10,000 donations from big developers, because then you're beholden to them, and they have never given such big amounts in one state race. So it is something that needs to be addressed, and I think that, you know, I'm very proud of the campaign contributions I have received, because I know it's from a wide variety of people, you know, from all walks of life and all different backgrounds. And, you know, thank you.
I'm glad. Mr. Ordaz Perez, I will give you 30 seconds to respond.
Yes, and so I'm glad you mentioned, you know, the campaign contributions, because yes, you've spoken about, you know, the amount of contributions you received, but what you're not telling the people, what you're not being honest about, is the largest contributors are the state delegation, or members of the state delegation who receive the same funding that I do. So they're in turn
not the same amount.
So
they're in turn giving you that same funding that I'm receiving. And so again, it's just being disingenuous. It's another tactic just to mislead people. Like, it's just important. And I think people are just tired of just throwing all of these political, you know, hits here and there just to, you know, whether it's to get a headline, whatever. It's just important that we're honest with people.